Dr. Iman Foroutan is a product information technologist and chairman of the New Iran. Thank you for joining me at the Media Line. Tension between the United States and the Islamic Republic continues to rise as Iranian adventurism seems boundless. Between its lethal proxies stoking numerous armed confrontations throughout the Middle East and of late its growing involvement with Venezuela, many argue the American image is taking a beating. How dangerous is an Iran buoyed by new confidence?
Well, the tension between the United States and Islamic Republic is nothing new. Islamic Republic started this whole thing 40 years ago when they took American hostages, and since then the relationship at best has been choppy until President Obama decided that it's good to appease the mullahs, give them billions of dollars of cash, and sign a very flawed P5+1 agreement. The fact that the Islamic Republic has been supplying terrorists with weapons and supporting them financially is nothing new. Islamic Republic gets part of its power by funding Hezbollah, Hamas, and Sha'bi and a lot of other terrorist groups. And with regards to its relationship with Venezuela, that's not also nothing new. Islamic Republic only has a few dictatorial and tyrannical regimes as friends, whether it's Cuba, Venezuela, Syria, or Russia. With regards to how dangerous will Islamic Republic be now getting new confidence, every report that we have shows that the Islamic Republic and the rulers of Islamic Republic every day are having less and less confidence, and also the fact that a lot of the government people are actually fleeing Iran. They're taking whatever money that they have and they're fleeing Iran, going to Canada, or actually finding refuge in other countries.
Iran made a showpiece out of its sale of 5 tanker loads of oil to Venezuela. The world tracked the ship's progress, expecting interdiction at any time, but none came. In fact, when the first ship docked in Caracas, the perception was an Iranian victory over Washington. Has the U.S. lost its power of deterrence?
Yes, we all tracked the ships. We all knew that they're going to Venezuela. And we all know that the United States, if it had decided to do so, they could have stopped these ships, blocked them, and take all types of other actions. However, commander of the forces who are in charge of that area of the world and the sea lanes, he mentioned a couple of days ago that the United States had to make a decision whether to go after $40 million worth of oil, and it only supplies 2 or 3 weeks of the needs of Venezuela. So therefore, the question is this the time and place that the United States wants to get involved militarily with the Islamic Republic? President Trump has mentioned many times and has shown through his actions he does not want war with the Islamic Republic unless his hand is forced. And we all know that Islamic Republic may try that because they're so weak, they're at such a weak point that probably the only thing left for the Islamic Republic to do is to start some kind of a war, hoping that similar to the Iran-Iraq war for so many decades ago, that may help for them to stay in power a bit longer. But no, the U.S. has not lost its power of deterrence. Just look at what the U.S. has been able to do in the last 2 or 3 years. Basically, with the exception of a few other countries, has stopped and caused the stop of purchasing oil from Islamic Republic, and many, many other targeted sanctions, which basically is crippling the Islamic Republic's economy.
Has President Trump's sanctions on Iran been effective? And if the regime is weakened, is it to the extent of collapse?
President Trump's and United States sanctions against the Islamic Republic, the targeted sanctions, have been extremely successful. Just look at the GDP of Islamic Republic. Look at the fact that they really have no more cash left to give to Sha'bi and all these other terrorist groups. The United States has worked. What has been very troubling has been the attitude of the European countries. They are the ones who have caused this to actually take longer than needed. Europeans are the ones that we believe have put their own benefits and their own financial transactions with the Islamic Republic ahead of the safety of the world and the safety of the Middle East, and at the end, really the safety of Europe.
Over 10 years ago, you told me the regime could be beaten. How can you back up your projections that the regime will fall in less than 6 months? What's different now?
The Iranian people inside and the opposition to Islamic Republic has been working very hard for the last at least 3.5 decades, 4 decades or so. And we have never lost our hope, and neither has the people of Iran, that this regime will go and will go soon. However, an event of this magnitude, in other words, a change of regime of a tyrannical and terrorist regime and jihadist regime like Islamic Republic, is not a simple task. Why? Because this regime has the money, and basically most of the rulers, or some of the rulers, believe in the other world and God and the fact that they will become martyrs if they die. And most importantly, they have no fear and do not hesitate in killing their own people. They jail their own people, they torture their own people, they rape the ladies before executing them, and everything that we've heard all these 40 years. The consensus is that the days of this regime are very, very numbered and limited. Unless something very extraordinary happens, Islamic Republic has no way, no path forward, and they cannot walk back things. They're at the point that they're losing money, and they're not in a static situation that they can hold on to for another year or two. Every day, things get worse for Islamic Republic.
How bad is the Iranian infestation of COVID-19? Is it a threat to the regime?
The situation with coronavirus and the infections and the deaths as a direct result of coronavirus is extremely, extremely bad inside Iran. We knew about it, the opposition knew about it. When you add up all the numbers and what the doctors and the nurses are saying, is that the total number of people who have caught the disease and total number of deaths in Iran are, as a minimum, at least 8 times higher than what the government talks about. And some people give that number to be at least 15, maybe 20 times more. So if the government of Iran, as of a couple of weeks ago, said maybe only 9,000 or 10,000 people have died, we know it's got to be over 150,000 or more.
According to Iran's leaders, Israel is a cancerous tumor that'll be destroyed, an assessment that goes virtually unchallenged. Are the Ayatollah's rantings presaging war?
As far as the rantings of Ayatollahs against Israel, against the United States, the big Satan and so on, and the fact that the Islamic Republic wishes or will soon destroy and annihilate Israel destroy Israel and take it off the world map. This is nothing new. They've been saying it for 20, 30, 40 years. What is important, however, is that Islamic Republic has never dared to confront neither Israel nor United States directly. Islamic Republic has been trying these proxy wars, if you will, through their proxy, Shah Shabi and Hezbollah and Hamas, by giving them millions, if not billions of dollars in the last few decades and weaponry, asking them and wanting them to throw bombs or attack Israel.
Iranian proxy Hezbollah chief Nasrallah has graciously exempted the people of the United States from annihilation. He said this week that the U.S.-based and naval vessels are fair game, not American people. Should we be grateful?
No, we do not believe that the people of the United States should be grateful to Nasrallah, who has graciously exempted the people of the United States against any attacks, but rather the United States allies or their military installations in the region. We all know that Hezbollah is a terrorist organization. Hezbollah gets all this funding and all this weaponry from Islamic Republic, have been getting that. And more importantly, there are all kinds of documents that Hezbollah and Islamic Republic, one of their main sources of income is selling drugs and drug trafficking. The drugs that goes all over the world, and to Europe, people of the United States, and so on. There's nothing to be grateful.
Syria is not a small country, but it's a crowded one for armies. Who's king of the hill in Syria, Assad, Rouhani or Putin?
Well, Syria has been an ally of Russia for a long, long time. And of course, Islamic Republic and Khamenei, Rouhani, whoever, they have also been, like I said earlier, they have been allies of every terrorist country. So they have this terrorist club, if you will, or dictatorial countries. You've got China and Russia from that side, that we have these dictatorial regimes where President of China got elected supposedly in their Congress to basically be president for life. Mr. Putin keeps changing the laws to be president for 12 years, 18 years. Russia probably has the upper hand.
Many thanks, Dr. Iman Foroutan, for joining me here at the Media Line.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, and I appreciate you inviting me to have this conversation with you.